automobiles, they no doubt matter, but they no longer are the absolutely critical part of our manufacturing. In some cases, depending on how you look at the data, is no longer number one. So we actually produce more chemical manufacturing and advanced manufacturing than just automobiles and automobile parts. So chemical manufacturing, think of that as pharmaceuticals. Think of that as drugs, legal drugs, which we manufacture a good amount of here in Indiana. Also, you can throw in chemical manufacturing, kind of is, dovetails with food processing. I know we don't want to think about our cheese as a chemical, but a lot of our food processing, food manufacturing is also included here in this chemical manufacturing. Also, we look at advanced manufacturing or innovative manufacturing. We also see that as well. For example, prosthetics. We see that up in the northern part of the state, and so new arms for people who might have had an arm amputated, new legs. So a lot of that stuff, that's going to be, of course, high tech. You don't want to go to China and get your prosthetic legs, but you want to get your iron and your light bulbs from there because it's super cheap. But you don't want a cheap, new arm. Also, in terms of manufacturing stents that are put into hearts. So if you have a blockage in an artery, a heart stent is this little device that's put into your artery that'll help open up that blockage. That's high-tech stuff. I mean, that's stuff that you don't want any bacteria, you don't want it to break down, you don't want it to mess up, because if it does, you die. So we can see how advanced manufacturing and these kind of high-tech, more specialized types of manufacturing are starting to lead the way. But overwhelmingly, what we could say is in Indiana, what the key industry in terms of manufacturing, but also tertiary sector growth, where we're seeing a lot of this competitive advantage in which we're competing with California and New York and big states, is biotechnology in health-related fields, for example, life sciences. So we can lump this in with the quaternary stage I mentioned at the end of the last chapter, but we could also throw this in with tertiary sector. So this is research-based. So this is those pharmaceuticals. So we look at one of the key companies in terms of pharmaceuticals in the state of Indiana is Eli Lilly. So they make a ton of drugs, a ton of legal drugs that are used all throughout the world. And so what's happening is we've got ourselves a nice situation. We are specialized in the health field, the health industry. And so as the baby boomers age, they're going to be needing more health fixes. They're going to be needing more stuff to fix whatever problems they might have. So it could be related to cancer, could be related to heart disease, could be related to new hips, new knees, new legs, whatever. So what we're seeing is a nice situation that's been put into motion over 20 to 30 years. And so we might have a governor, doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican, who will say, look at what I'm doing for jobs in Indiana, especially in the health sciences and life sciences industry. No, bub, or lady. Those are situations in which we've had that a long time ago, and it's just coming to fruition now that we have more demand for health-related services, both in the nation but also globally. Also, like I said, medical devices, I mentioned those in the previous examples, prosthetics, but also heart stents. And so Cook Technologies, a company down in southern Indiana, down in Monroe County, in Bloomington, they manufacture a large number of various things that are put into our bodies, various devices, in particular, like I mentioned, heart stents. Another key industry that's growing, or key part of the health field, is oncology, or the study of cancer and trying to understand cancer. So Indiana is going to be one of those places in which they're going to be adding a lot of knowledge. And so if cancer is ever eradicated, if we ever can say cuck cancer, if we can ever get rid of it, it could be Indiana that helps lead the way. And further, we have a life science initiative. And so on our campus of IUPUI is essentially where we see the science and engineering, the computer sophistication, the informatics of Purdue, combined with the more liberal arts, the deeper thinking, the innovative, the touchy-feely stuff of IU combined together, and we have it right here in Indianapolis. And so we combine the law school with med school here, and we have this whole kind of focus on life sciences, whether it be patent lawyers, whether it be new technologies, new ideas, new ways to visualize different DNA structures and genetics, and all of this combined is together why this is a key industry in Indiana going forward, particularly in central Indiana. Finally, overwhelmingly, tertiary sector growth is what's helping to attract more people to our state, but it's also providing jobs for a lot of those that have lost jobs from the primary but also secondary sectors. And so this is going to include, once again, healthcare, so nursing, doctors, older age care, so palliative care and hospice care are all examples of tertiary sector jobs that are growing. Business services are growing, so logistics, companies that are trying to help businesses run even smoother in terms of monitoring transportation flow. So we have a lot of logistics and distribution companies located here. A lot of hospitality jobs, particularly in Indianapolis. That's where we have a large convention and hotel and sports event kind of competitive advantage going on. So that's why we have a tourism, convention, event management school on our campus, because of that hospitality focus our state has. But also government jobs, for better or for worse, government jobs are growing as well. So all these are examples of tertiary sector jobs in which we're seeing growth. So in 1990, manufacturing comprised about 24% of the statewide employment. If we look at 2010, it's less than 20, so it's definitely gone down. Meanwhile, we've seen a 4 or 5% increase in tertiary sector growth, so much that about 78 to 80% of all jobs in Indiana are tertiary sector jobs. Where this growth occurring, it's going to occur, of course, in those college towns, metropolitan Indianapolis for sure, particularly Hamilton County to the north of Indianapolis, but also to a certain extent Columbus. Columbus is seeing tertiary sector growth related to the growth of healthcare there, and I'll explain that here in a minute. Here we have a list of the top 10 in-demand jobs here in Indiana, so computer software engineers, computer systems, dental hygienists. So we can see once again some of the healthcare, the business, got a little bit of tech, but all of these top 10 in-demand jobs are all from one sector, the tertiary sector.